Welcome to Geekendz!
I'm Mike.
And I'm Maria.
We're a couple of Generation X pop culture geeks documenting the fun parts of life.
Theme parks, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, and Halloween drive us the most.
We frequent Disney parks, local events, and places of interest.
Cruising, New York City, and Universal Orlando are usually in the mix.
But who are we? At the time of this recording, it is May 2023. 5 years ago, May 19th, 2018, we published our first vlog. We just reached over 1,000 subscribers, so we want to definitely welcome you guys and thank you so much for joining. And we would also like to know why you subscribed. Like, is there a particular video that you watched that you enjoyed that you think we should do more of? The Ren Fair is every year. Unless we get rained out. Adventureland, which is a local park, a lot of local Long Islanders really love that park.
Yeah,
you know, we grew up in that park. That's something we like to share on an annual basis.
Yeah, and obviously there's always a Disney trip
Disney
at
is
some point.
Disney is part of our life. Halloween is part of our life.
Part of our life, so
Star Wars is part of our life. Indiana Jones, I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan, if you can't tell. My favorite character in cinema history is Indiana Jones, and Han Solo is a very, 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 very close second to that.
And it just so happens the same person.
Yeah,
so.
guess who my favorite actor is? We met like 15 years now?
Yeah.
15 years ago from this point. So
we used to work in the same office.
Right. I started a job where I met her mother, who worked there for ages. Her daughter, Sherry, Maria's sister, who you might have seen in the videos if you follow, she got pulled in, and then Maria got pulled in, and Maria and I sat next to each other. We became friends. We were in different relationships at the time. We were just becoming friends.
Yeah.
We had the same interests. I started attending their Halloween parties in their backyard, met more of their friends, and eventually we all started to plan trips to Orlando. Halloween Horror Nights 2013, which is HHN 23, that was our first outing together as a group. I didn't film that. I filmed like maybe a clip or two, but because we were doing fun things like that and then doing that on an annual basis and adding Disney World to it, we started doing research. We found the Tim Tracker. I got so hooked on watching the Tim Tracker, like I felt like I was in Florida again when we were back home in New York.
Right.
By the way, we live in Long Island, New York, born and raised. And I just loved the feeling of being someplace you really enjoy without actually being there, like a vicarious experience.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the way I want to make our videos, and I think we've accomplished that. There isn't like an intent to make these videos. We're just bringing the camera with us. And because I have a filmmaking background, I really enjoy the editing process and adding the music.
All the editing. When you say, "Wow, that's a great video," the editing is all this guy. I mean, I sit there and watch them over and over before he publishes it for quality control and this and that, and make sure things are spelled right.
I want her to do that.
And I'm like, oh, maybe we should put this here or change this or cut this shorter. Right. So I'm kind of like I don't know, is there a name for that job?
It's like the equivalent of proofreading, but for videos.
But all the editing is this guy. He does a very good job. He's good at what he does.
We were both born in the late 70s. I was literally born the same year as Star Wars: A New Hope was introduced to the movie theater quite early. In 1980, I remember seeing movies. New Hope was re-released when Empire Strikes Back came out. My dad took me to those. I barely remember those because I was about 3 or so. I do remember Return of the Jedi, which this time of the recording is celebrating its 40th anniversary, so that's pretty wild. Just seeing movies like The Dark Crystal, E.T., Goonies, Gremlins, you know, those movies are...
That's our childhood.
They define us. Just being exposed to movies that young and being inspired by, you know, watching these stories, you know. I wanted to be like that. I wanted to make movies right from the start, and I really spent a long time pursuing that to the point of, you know, I went to film school. I took the same course that Quentin Tarantino did. I'm like, oh, maybe I could make my own Reservoir Dogs type of movie and like after I do this. But no, it's not that easy. It's not easy at all. The closest I ever got was interning at Paramount Pictures, which is a memory I will never forget.
Yeah, and that's awesome.
And
you made your own handful of little short films and things.
I've made short films. With this outlet, YouTube, I have that advantage to, let me turn our day into a movie. Yeah. Going back to Disney quick, you got to know something about Maria.
I went for the Disney store for about 4 years, and then I went to audition for Disney Cruise Line, and I became a cast/crew member of Disney Cruise Line as an entertainer. And I did one contract with the Disney Magic, the first. That's my pal. He's my best pal. The inaugural sailing of the Disney Magic in 1998. So I was part of the first entertainment cast.
So 5 years and almost 200 vlogs. What's among your favorites that we've done so far?
Our Disneyland series when we went to Disneyland for the first time last year. And of course our recent vlogs for Galactic Star Cruiser. Those are probably some of the best vlogs we've done.
I told Maria when we did, I'm like, this is our World Series. This is the World Series for the channel.
Like,
just
this
because
has to be good. It's gonna be good.
Because our channel is Star Wars is a huge part of our passion. And we had a Star Wars wedding. Maria and I got married 2019. We had a Star Wars wedding. We had 501st friends there.
Yeah.
We had everybody dress up. We had lightsabers. It was Star Wars is a big part of our life.
Going back to like personal favorites, we're not really home vloggers. Like we don't do a lot of stuff.
We used to.
We did for a time being. We did because we were all in quarantine for a while.
Well, even before that.
Even before that, we did a couple of home vlogs here and there, random. Just going out to Target or going wherever.
Our very first vlog is somewhat of a home vlog.
Yeah. The other favorite of mine is we don't need any more cups. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. If you're, open your cabinets and you have a bajillion cups from every place you go and too many mugs and too many this and that, and we just did a whole vlog on it and it was just hilarious.
If you really want to get to know us, watch that one.
Yeah. Besides my work for the Walt Disney Company, I did a lot of local musical theater out here. I'm a singer. I was in a cover band for some time, worked as a scare actor in a local haunted house out here. For 11 years I trained in Shaolin Kung Fu, so I have some martial arts background as well. Of course, we both love to cosplay.
What is your favorite theme park?
I love Epcot. I was a child of the 80s like you. I've been to Disney World a bunch of times when I was younger with my family. That vibe of Epcot for me is still there whenever I walk into Epcot. I love the whole vibe of Epcot. It just brings me back to my childhood. And the World Showcase, of course, is just awesome. And as an adult, you appreciate it even more.
Yes. Yes.
Epcot for me, that's my jam.
I didn't get the childhood Disney experience. My first Orlando park experience was Universal Studios Florida in 1992, and I think I was around 16 years old, and that park was about 2 years old. Because of my obsession with movies, my interest was Universal Studios before anything else, and then of course my first Disney park had to be MGM at the time. And because of movies. This is a new answer because we only just went to this park last year. My favorite theme park, as of now, is Disneyland, original Disneyland. And the reason why is because of my top two favorite things, Star Wars and Indiana Jones. So it has an amazing Indiana Jones ride that we rode for the first time in 2022. We got to go on it 3 times, and I'm already planning my 50th birthday on that ride. Which is a little while from now.
I would agree. Like I would say, like that would be my second.
Yeah.
Under Epcot, I think Disneyland would be my second because that's the OG.
That's the OG. Yeah.
That's the original.
I have such a tremendous. Even though I didn't have the childhood Disney experience, I have a huge respect for Walt Disney himself and that park. Also, Galaxy's Edge is there, so it's like
So we get the best of both in one park over there.
It's what I like to call Disney's greatest hits, and it's all in Disneyland. We document the fun parts of life. Geekendz are for the weekends. We publish around the weekends. We bring you on adventures. We may not always have weekly uploads, so just so you know. So if you don't see something on a Thursday by 6 o'clock or a Friday, that means wait for next week, wait for 2 weeks. Know that we have a video coming.
We'll have something planned.
If you are subscribed, there is a feature where you could hit all notifications so that you will get a notification when we do publish a video.
Yeah.
And again, just to remind you guys, if you really like what you see, thumbs it up.
Up.
If 10 of you are watching in the same room and you're all subscribed,
everybody hit the thumbs up.
Get on your phones and hit the thumbs because
and leave us comments.
Yes.
I love hearing comments come in. I really do. Like now that the channel is growing a little bit, now that we've hit 1,000 subscribers, we're over 1,000
over
now.
1,000, yeah.
We're getting a little more feedback from people. With that, we will see you real soon, and may the Geekendz be with you.
You won't see that because I will not be doing it again.